Hi and welcome to another episode of the Brand Couch, this time from Iceland and Reykjavik at Charge Energy Branding Conference. I am here now with Rune from Kirt THOMSEN. And Rune, just tell us quickly about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the managing director of a design and innovation consultancy, and we're specialized in supporting the early stages of innovation within the energy space, and supporting that with, you could say, more visual storytelling and design thinking approach, a more holistic approach as well. So bringing in more communication in the early stage innovation.
So what brings you to Charge in Iceland? Why are you here?
Because it's a really good platform to actually discuss how do you bring in new competences in the energy brand, you could say, in the energy sector. And as we're sort of a new competence in that space, you could say if you look on innovation processes, it's often characterized by STEM, as like the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, like the more hard competences. But you often tend to forget like the A, as to add a arts, with all that forms. And that's actually what design can do, can bring in some new tools, a new perspective, and that innovation that then help accelerate the process, right?
It's funny you say, because I spoke to like quite a lot of leaders now, and we've seen some of the keynotes in the conference, and a lot of them talk about speed, right? And speed being really of the essence, and we need speed to get there faster. Do you see like the industry understanding it in the innovation process, or is it still sort of difficult to get them to understand, okay, speed actually means next week and not next year?
Yeah, it is, of course, the speed and time. It's some difficult things to grasp. And it's also difficult to grasp, you could say, the value of what we bring in, because it's often first seen maybe a couple of years down the line, or 5 or 10 years down the line, what the real value of what we brought into the process was. So it's often actually not the time that we sell as a key thing when we offer these things. It's often more like the communication part, you could say.
Right, okay.
And we have a lot of references, so it's more easy for people to see that like an image is telling more than 1,000 words, right? Yeah. It's commonly known by many. So that the engineers and the R&D and the innovation teams, they can relate to that because they know that maybe they're not always the best to communicate their own concept.
Yeah, of course.
So they can relate to a visualization.
So if we talk about visualization, it's an easy sort of segue to brand, right? So what's the role? Because I would almost say before this conference, brand and energy was a bit like, it doesn't really match, right? How do you see that connection now, and where do you see it going forward?
Yeah. Of course, there's been the whole shift towards like a more consumer-centric focus as well. But I think what we really see like is changing in the energy sector, and what is then relating to the brand and the whole communications part, is that the whole sector needs to collaborate. Right. So they need to collaborate across companies, organizations, professions, up and down the organization in itself. So there's a much higher degree of collaboration, and you could say it have moved a little bit from being sort of a complex,
a silo, sort of.
A siloed and a complex sector. But it sort of worked in a way. But now it's moving into hyper complexity, I would say, because there's so many factors that need to be taken into account when you are developing new solutions. And I think that's exactly where the brand and the communications play a big role, right? Because it can help position a brand, and it can also communicate what can we provide as an organization, or maybe it's a new solution we bring to market. What is exactly that solution? And if you can communicate that in 2 minutes rather than 2 hours, it makes a big difference.
Well, there you go. There's speed.
That's speed. That's speed. Exactly.
Excellent. Perfect.
Yes.
We can talk about this for a long, long time, I think, because this is awesome, right? It's like design thinking, fast innovation, all these kind of things. Thank you so much for joining me on the Brand Couch. And if you want to check out what they're doing, you can look at KirtThomsen.com. That's KIRT-THOMSEN.com. And check it out. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.